This is Randy with a quick update on the ProPresenter layouts, and I'm going to make this quick so it won't waste time. When you open the screen, first off, when you start it from a remote session or any time you start ProPresenter, it seems to take a good couple minutes to start. There's a whole lot of stuff loading, but it's not hung up. It just takes a long time to load. A quick view of what we're doing here and the way it's laid out. These are the playlists. These are hot smart playlists, and the one that say FX, that means that these are fixed images that we used during a normal worship service, and they're in roughly the order that we go through them here. So you'll see that there's banners for like the music. The thumbnails tended to come and go. We just add them back when we can, but there's various thumbnails for music, and that's why they're in the music folder. And there's some for children's time. You can see what those are. Various children's banners, and we got into what the banners and the purpose of those are, but there's several banners that are used for various things. Now, this one is particularly unique. It's called This Sunday. And what this is for is like for Sunday morning worship. These are some that are front and center for the Sunday that's just now coming up or coming up soon. In this example I'm showing you here, these two we used last Sunday. These two we're planning to use this Sunday. So let me show you what makes these hot folders and why that's important. Is in order to get them in PowerPoint, these are all the hot folders, and you'll see they have the same names as what I just showed you on the lower left. And all you really have to do is in Windows open this folder, for example this Sunday. And if you drop something into that folder, you essentially there's no import required at all. When it shows back up in when you put that file, if you put a file in that folder that says This Sunday or any of these fixed ones, when you go there, you'll see that you've added it to the folder. It's automatic. That's why it's called a smart folder. So what we have up here, these are the playlists. At the very top of the list of playlists, there's various libraries. And we just opened this one because we've started importing bundles to see how those work. We'll see if we need to do that. But there's a master that's mostly lyrics, scripture archive, which is scriptures. And these are all imported as Word documents. I'll show you that in just a moment. Or predominantly imported as Word documents until we start doing bundles. Now, once the playlist is imported, this is the scripture archive. These are various scriptures and calls to worship that we've imported. But if I go to a different library here, the master, this is the song library that we have lyrics for. And so what we do each week is just come through here and take a look at, for example, if we wanted to use this one here, we would right click it and it says add to. And now what it's doing is saying, okay, which playlist do you want to add it to when you import it? And so, for example, this Sunday is my contemporary service here is 7/2 of 23 contemporary. If I were adding this song to that, I would simply just click that and it would automatically put it in there. You'll notice that's the naming convention of the playlist. We put the month, day, and then the year, and whether it's traditional or contemporary, and we'll put some kind of special event sometimes every so often with a different name, like Good Friday and such. We run, I don't know, about this many, and then we do a little cleanup and move them to an archive so that you can go back and look at some playlists from the archive. And then occasionally we purge these if it starts getting to be too many, probably getting time to do that. So given that, let me scroll down here on these playlists. That's the same playlist you just saw. And what I'll do in a moment when we can start getting prepared for Sunday service tomorrow on Saturdays, I'll click on this. And notice when I click on this, this is the playlist itself. That's I've gone down into the archive, I think. Let me see what I've done here. Yeah, so if I click on this, then this is the view of the playlist itself. And so this is where we set up the playlist. And during the contemporary worship service, we're going to walk right through this. And there's a lot of things we can learn about transitions and reflow. And I want to see if there's a way to make camera operation part of this. We haven't done that, as you saw. We're doing all that separately, directly to the camera, and we're feeding the camera straight into OBS. And I want to start exploring the possibility of feeding the camera here and bringing those transitions and camera movements under control and clean those up a bit. So as you figured out, I'm sure whatever your display, whatever you click here in the playlist, this is where this is where we just step, for example, through these lyrics. What this is showing right now is the output of the OBS, but I'll go ahead and switch it to screen so you can see this is the screen that's projecting. And so this is what I was saying earlier. If we have this on there and you have the remote, as long as we keep the focus here, you can just push, I believe it's the right button, and you can control those if you want to, whether it's during your sermon. And Right now the Ninja's pretty much, we don't use the remote, but it works fine. We've tested it quite often. So that's the way this works. We also have, this is the audio bin. There's a file on the desktop that's called the audio drop. And when you put something in the audio drop, then we just hit this plus. You do have to hit the plus and import the song here if we want to have some music that's in the background or whatever, some backing tracks or whatever. And these are audio libraries. And the rest of it is just control stuff, and viewing things. And I think you figured out too that as you hit these various things here, you can, when you click on them, this is where we're actually going and picking the collateral that's in these hot folders. So that's in a nutshell how it works, and I think you're even more dangerous than you were. Thank you.